Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be breaking down Google's 68-page prompt engineering masterclass. Now, I reverse engineered this entire document specifically for B2B revenue leaders, sales leaders, and go-to-market leaders to ultimately help you guys get more consistent outputs with your AI. Now, I've been using AI in my workflows for myself and for my clients consistently for the last few years. We've been able to generate over 1,000 qualified sales appointments using our strategies. Now, this video, I will break it down super simple, give you some examples that you can actually apply to your specific situation. So you can go from getting bland, generic responses to super specific, highly relevant, and high quality outputs. Now let's dive into it. Now this is Google's secret B2B sales framework cracked wide open. And I reverse engineered Google's 68-page prompt engineering masterclass and turned it into a proven framework that's already helped generate over 1,000 sales appointments for elite B2B revenue teams. And I'm about to hand you the exact super prompts that took me months and months to perfect. And this is the B2B AI crisis that no one is talking about. Your revenue team is sitting on Ferrari level AI toolkit, but driving it like a golf cart. Meanwhile, your competition is leveling up. While your competitors who understand these advanced prompting techniques are creating hyper-personalized outreach that gets 3x better response rates, automating lead qualification that identifies perfect fit leads, routes them to the right salesperson in seconds so they can immediately do outreach, and developing sales intelligence that uncovers hidden high-intent leads way before the competition does. Ultimately, bad prompts equals bad time. All while your team wastes hours typing in generic prompts like write me a sales email and getting the same mediocre AI sounding garbage that everyone else is getting. Never fear, there is a breakthrough. It's not about having better AI, it's about speaking its language. As a tier 5 OpenAI user, this means I'm in the top percent globally using ChatGPT platform. I've built dozens of revenue generating AI agents for myself and for my customers. And as a result of this, I've discovered a shocking truth. The difference between average and exceptional AI results often comes down to just a few carefully chosen words in your prompts. And I'm about to give you the exact framework that turns vague AI responses into precision targeted revenue weapons. And so you're probably thinking, why is this guy even qualified to talk to me about AI? There's a lot of self-proclaimed experts all over the internet. Like I mentioned, top tier OpenAI user in the 1% globally. As a result, I've developed mastery of AI systems beyond what most AI experts have achieved, and I use them in practice. This isn't just theory. This isn't just, oh, this looks cool, you can copy and paste this. I'm actually using this to help my customers generate more revenue. And so I do this at my go-to-market prospecting agency, levergrowth.io. We've generated over 1,000 sales appointments, as I mentioned, and we're working with B2B revenue teams using these exact techniques that I'm sharing with you right now. To give you a little more context on the type of agents that we are building includes tools like Make and N8N, and we're doing lead enrichment, lead scoring, company research, competitor intelligence, market trends, news monitoring, lead engagement, and inbox management. And so all of these are really just specifically engineered to get back, to do research, to reach out, and all of these agents are ultimately built so you can generate more revenue, plain and simple. Also, research-based methodology. I've analyzed Google's entire prompt engineering white paper, and this is the same white paper that they distribute to their own team to train their own engineers on this kind of stuff. So my framework is not theoretical. It's actually built on hundreds of real-world iterations. What I mean by that, I'm testing these with all the main models across ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, just to name a few, and actually getting results with them. And every technique that I'm sharing has been documented, it's measured, and again, right, it's proven to deliver consistent results. Are you going to get the best results on day one? Probably not, but as you learn over time, you will get there, and that's the goal of this video. It's to give you that fundamental skill set so you can build your own prompts that will actually get you great results. Here's a very brief example, how quickly you can transform your results from meh to amazing, right? So here's an example prompt. Build me a lead list of the top financial services companies in the United States. You can see here on the left, you have a list of just pretty generic companies in financial services. Now, thinking about prompting techniques, you would prompt it more specifically, hey, generate a list of 10 financial services companies in the Northeast region with over 500 employees that likely need to upgrade their compliance systems due to new regulations, right? And you can see the results here on the left and compared to the results here on the right. Obviously way more specific on the right than on the left. Again, like the high level here, this isn't about learning complex coding systems or spending months becoming a quote unquote expert. It's about applying a simple, repeatable framework that transforms your results overnight. So my promise to you in this video, by the end of this training, you'll have a couple things: a complete battle-tested framework for crafting perfect prompts every single time. You'll have 6 specific techniques your team can deploy immediately. You'll have real-world examples customized for B2B revenue teams, and you'll have the skills to get consistent, high-quality results from any AI model. And unlike those generic AI for business courses, every technique is specifically tailored for B2B revenue teams looking to crush their quotas, not just impress the marketing department or the board, right? And again, no technical background or coding is required to get these results. Step 1, first you have to understand the AI's brain. So how does AI actually work? AI predicts what words should come next based on patterns it's learned from millions of texts it's already been trained on, right? So when you type in once upon a, the AI will think what's typically going to come next based on the books that it's read and the context that it's been given. Time is a highly likely next choice. It could also predict day or midnight. Again, very much dependent on the context. To break it down even more simply, it's like if you've read every single cookbook ever written, and then someone gives you the first half of a recipe, you could probably guess the next ingredient very easily, right? And that's the same thing when you write a prompt. So when you write a prompt, you're creating a starting point for the prediction process. And you can see in this image here, the capital of France is Paris, but based on text, it could potentially be Lyon, but most likely it's not based on all of the text that it's been trained with. More simply, talking to AI is prompt engineering. Simple as that. Think of it like training a new sales rep. The clearer your instructions, the better results they will get. I'm going to break down 2 main concepts here very quickly. The first is called temperature control. Think of this as AI's creativity dial, right? So you can have lower temperature or higher temperature, right? Low temperature is just going to be more predictable, more factual answers. This is better for math problems, facts, or when you need a right or a specific answer. This is like asking a librarian for an answer. Or you can go increase your temperature, and this is going to give you more creative and surprising answers. This is best for stories, for brainstorming, generating ideas. It's like asking an imaginative friend, right? So when you're just using the basic models, you don't really have to worry about this too much, but just want to give you like the high level. This is something you can manipulate to get better results, especially if you're using tools like Clay. So now let's talk about context windows. So this is like space on a whiteboard. AI can only see a certain amount of text at once, right? So you have one chat, that's going to be your entire whiteboard. And so you have limits per model. So Claude, GPT, they're all going to have different limits. And really what fills the memory includes your questions, your instructions, any responses from AI in that same chat, any docs you've uploaded, or any examples that you provided. And an important thing to note, the most recent text has the strongest influence over your next response, right? So that's like how you remember the end of a conversation best. And so some quick tips to maximize the clarity: just be really concise. Just trim unnecessary history if your context window is getting too long. And then you can also highlight key info in your searches to prioritize what you actually want to be referencing. Let's go to step 2. There is a 4-part prompt formula that I'll share with you guys now. Every good prompt needs these 4 things: clear instructions, what to do; context, which is relevant information; format specification, which is how to actually respond; and then examples. So to give clear instructions, simply again, tell the AI exactly what you want. And why does this work? Clear instructions tells AI exactly what you need, and this reduces mistakes and delivers exactly what you want for your efforts. How do you actually do this? You'll want to use direct action verbs. Teach me words, break down, show the differences or the similarities between, show the different options, condense information, create something new, assess the quality or the merit of whatever you're referencing. And you really want to be specific about details here, right? So for audience, for SDRs with 1 to 2 years of experience, or for enterprise AEs, you can specify the length. in a 5-sentence email or a 3-sentence email, or as 3 qualifying questions. Or you can use tone, like be more professional as if you're speaking to the C-suite, or more consultative if you're talking to technical managers, or super casual, direct, concise, like you're speaking to a friend, right? The purpose, you want to be specific here and say, hey, the goal is to book more discovery calls, or to highlight ROI, or to achieve a result. This is basically the so what when it comes to the prompting. And so here's some examples. I'm gonna give a meta prompt example for all of these, and then some good prompts that you can use. The meta prompt is important because this is like the framework that you can actually use to your specific example or your specific use case. These good prompts are just ones that I created based on specific use cases, right? So when it comes to the meta prompt here, you want to start with an action verb, an objective, or an asset for your specific audience. You want to mention the format or the length, using a tone to achieve a specific outcome. As examples, generate 5 email subject lines for healthcare IT directors about our security compliance solution. Be direct and highlight regulatory benefits. Action verb, generate. Objective, 5 email subject lines. Audience, healthcare IT directors. Security compliance solution is more context. And then, be direct using the tone to achieve outcome and highlight regulatory benefits, right? So you can see how that fits in to the meta prompt. Further, analyze our outreach data, identify which messaging resonates most with manufacturing procurement managers, focus on cost reduction metrics. Number 3, create a 3-question qualification framework for enterprise SaaS prospects. Questions should cover budget, authority, timeline, and technical requirements. You can use this to write cold emails. You can use this to do customer research. You can even use these prompts to come up with better questions to ask during your discovery process so you can actually close deals more quickly. And here's some bad examples that you want to stay away from. Just give me some good ideas. Write something that will make people buy our product. Create email templates for our sales teams. These are basically like Oracle type questions that AI is not an Oracle. I think a lot of people go wrong thinking, oh, this is just all knowing. If I just give it a little bit, it'll give me what I need. The reality is, if you're not giving it the proper context or direction, it's just going to make something up. It's going to hallucinate. It's just going to go off on its own tangents. And as a result, your results are going to be bad. You might even think AI doesn't work. But in fact, if you're following these meta prompts, they will generate better results for you. So part 2, provide relevant context. So again, this is telling the AI important background information. So why does this actually work? This is adding context to help AI understand your specific situation. So this makes responses more useful for your actual prospects and for your actual market. How do you actually do this? Pretty simply, create an audience, give the background, and give some constraints, right? Examples for SDRs targeting IT managers at mid-market healthcare companies, or a background might be, hey, our tool helps reduce compliance costs by this. Constraints or filters, right? Only target companies using legacy ERP systems facing 6-month audit deadlines. This is going to give the AI way more to work with to come up with some much more interesting responses. So a good meta prompt you can use in this case is structure this as a format type with a specific number of content units. You can use a layout style and keep it a certain length. Write LinkedIn messages, financial services decision makers who've mentioned regulatory reporting challenges in their posts and whose companies have experienced compliance penalties in the last year, right? So write LinkedIn messages for financial services decision makers who've mentioned regulatory reporting challenges in their posts, companies who've experienced compliance penalties this year. Just given it very, very specific. All right, so another example for bad prompts here. So create some good content. Help me write emails. Make a list of questions for sales calls. Again, it's like no context. You're just going to get bad responses. Part 3, controlling the format. So you want to specify exactly how you want your information presented. So why works? Format guidelines. Ensure you're ready to use content that saves time, makes AI outputs fit within your process. How do you do this? Be explicit about the structure. You want to include length, the layout, content units, output type. Meta prompt example. Use these examples as a reference, follow the tone, length, and structure exactly, right? So again, you could create a 3-part cold email sequence for CTOs with emails under 100 words, structured with personalization, problem statement, specific ask, include tracking metrics for each email if you have it. So again, like this works because you're giving them the exact context. You're going to get a response that is going to be under 100 words. It's going to have some personalization that you've already worked on. It's going to have problem statement, specific ask, given all of the training materials that you've already provided to it. Then you're going to get an output. Is it going to be good? Maybe, maybe not, but you'll be able to at least start to be on the right track, right? Depends often on the source material as well. So let's go to part 4, providing examples. So basically you just want to show the AI what you want by giving it an example of what looks good. So the reason why this works is providing sample outputs. It acts as a blueprint for the AI to follow. This will improve your accuracy, your style consistency, and your response quality. So how do you do this? You will give it one or more, it's called a one-shot example, which is a single sample to mimic. Few shot examples, which is multiple samples. You can do before and after. Here's how it started, here's how it fixed. And then tone style examples. Show what formal, witty, concise looks like. Here's an example, meta prompt. Use these examples as reference. Follow the tone, length, and structure exactly. So some good prompts you can use, like write 3 LinkedIn connection requests following this pattern. And then you just include text, and then it'll spit out a bunch of responses for you, right? Again, like you look at the difference between the good prompts and the bad prompts. Write me some good examples, show me how to format, give me some templates. Those are just going to get you horrible responses. So just make sure that you're leaning on these meta prompts to continue to hone yourself and get better AI outputs. All right, so now let's talk about the 6 techniques that you can use to prompt. We have 0 shot, few shot, role prompting, chain of thought, step back, and output formatting. First, 0 shot. So first, you just want to give clear instructions, no examples. Why does this work? AI systems are pre-trained on millions of instruction following examples and allows them to understand and execute straightforward requests, even without seeing similar examples in the current conversation. So how do you do this? You want to be specific about what you want, include necessary parameters, specify any constraints or preferences, provide context when needed, and use clear, unambiguous language, right? That sounds like very similar to the 4-step framework that I shared before. It is, because that's basically the first main, easiest type of technique, really. So an example meta prompt here is, I need you to insert your specific task about a topic. You want to focus on whatever the aspects that are important to you. Then you can make it a specific length and tone, and then make sure to include a relevant element. Next one here is few shot. So this is showing the AI what you want by providing different examples. So why does it? Providing examples as outputs acts as a blueprint. Like I shared earlier, this will improve your accuracy. How do you actually do this? You want to give multiple examples. You can give a single example. You can give before and after, and you can give tone and style. All of those will allow you to manipulate your output. You can do one or more of these. Next one is meta prompt. So we'll use these examples as a reference and then follow the tone, length, and structure exactly. Next one here, role prompting. So you want to ask the AI to adopt a specific role, right? So defining a role creates a cognitive frame that helps the AI access relevant knowledge. It adopts an appropriate style of communication, and it maintains consistency in its responses. So how do you do it? You assign a specific role with relevant expertise. You define the audience relationship. You set the context and the purpose. You specify communication style if needed. You'll combine with other techniques for enhanced results. So act as a specific role. So you're a sales leader, revenue leader, perhaps they're a CEO with expert in whatever it is your target audience does, whatever they're known for, whatever market they're in. Your audience is, give a little more context on who that ideal customer looks like. And your goal is to, whatever you're trying to sell them, whatever the goal is they're trying to achieve, communicate in a specific style manner, right? So casual, witty, concise, explain like I'm talking to a 5-year-old, whatever you want to say there, depending on exactly who your audience is. Number 4, chain of thought. So this is to guide the AI to break down its thinking process step by step. So prompting the AI to think through problems systematically helps prevent reasoning errors. It creates more thoughtful analysis, and it makes the decision-making process more transparent. How do you do this? You can request explicit reasoning steps. You can ask for sub-questions to be addressed. You can encourage consideration of multiple factors. You can request evaluation of options, different approaches, or you can even just ask for final conclusions or recommendations. Meta prompt for this one is think through the recommended task step by step. First, consider initial factors, then analyze additional factors, and then finally conclude with a desired end outcome. Next one here, step back. So instructing the AI to first address the big picture before diving into specifics. And this works because you're taking a broader view to help establish your context, identifying your underlying principles, and then ensuring comprehensive solutions that address root causes rather than surface symptoms. So how do you do this? Ask for context or background first. request a high-level principle before specifics. You can frame the problem in its larger ecosystem. You can connect specific issues to broader trends, or you can use this to supplement other techniques as well. Good meta prompt here. Before addressing the task, first explain the broader context of whatever your domain is. Then apply these principles to the situation, like writing an email, building a list, all that good stuff. Next one here, output formatting. So you want to specify exactly how you want the information presented. Why this works. Structured formats help organize complex information, ensuring consistency, highlighting key details, and it makes outputs immediately actionable without requiring more processing. The way that you can do this, specify the exact format. So say, hey, make this a table, make this a list. You can define the precise sections in the headers. Say, hey, I want my title to be this. I want my subject line to be this. I want my body to be this, as an example. You can provide field names, descriptions, and then reference those. You can set your length and your quality parameters as always, and then you just can include different formatting examples. Meta prompt for this one, format your responses as format. With these sections, make sure you include the sections. For each item, include whatever it is you want in there, like research on the top 3 ICPs, and then you want to understand their pain points, and then you want to understand what they've tried. You can really just continue to spitball on that, but the more context, as always. So here's some bonuses for you guys. Common problems and solutions. So say you've already tried all this stuff, maybe not getting the results you want. Never fear. First problem. Your AI is giving vague or generic responses. That happens, it's okay. The solution to this is just add more specific details and examples. Simple as that. And you'll start to see your responses become more high quality. Next problem. AI is misunderstanding the task. The solution for this is you want to break down those complex results or those complex requests into smaller steps. If you're telling it to do too many things at one time, it might forget the middle step, and it might only do the last step, and it might not do the first step, or might only do the first step, and it doesn't do the middle steps. Like, it can go any number of ways. Ultimately, you just break it down into smaller parts, isolate the step, and then move on. Third problem here, AI is generating false information. Also, this in other words is known as hallucinating. AI unfortunately does hallucinate. The way that you can solve for this is you can ask it to cite sources or check information to make sure that it's accurate. This also can happen when you have a really, really long prompt, too much context. If it can't digest it all, it'll often just start making things up. So again, just making sure that you're very clear and you're reviewing your responses and you're getting false stuff. Just tell it, hey, make sure you're citing this. And so ultimately, like any practice, like any skill, you're going to want to do this better and better over time. You're going to start, after watching this training, you're going to be better, but how do you consistently get better? Iterative improvement, name of the game. Document what's working for you. Refine based on results. So say you're running a campaign, one with a specific persona, one with another persona. You're using the same time prompting techniques. Over time, you start to kind of shift it and change it up, see what's actually getting better results. And when you do start to validate your ideas and your prompts, save them down. Build out your prompt library. I have a handful of prompts that are in my arsenal that I'm using all the time. And it just allows you to not have to reinvent the wheel every single time, you know? So do you want to build your own AI revenue agent? If so, book a call, levergrowth.io. I can help you craft correct prompt that'll get you the end result that you're looking for, whether that's qualify your leads better, find more leads, turn your leads into paying customers. We can potentially help you out. Go to this website, levergrowth.io, book in a call. I'll see if I can help you out. If not, I'm happy to point you in the right direction. Otherwise, hope you got some value in this video. I will chat with you soon. Talk to you then. Peace.